We got again Erica here. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, a quick introduction, and we're gonna get to why you came and everything. So,
Okay, so my name is Erica. I am a wife, mother, and daughter. I've always been obsessed, interested, intrigued by my ancestry. I love it. I talk about it pretty much every single day. I've been a fan of your work for years now, and I'm so happy and honored to be here with you and really appreciate all that you've done in terms of everyone's history and ancestry that you've researched and how you're trying to help us determine who we are and come to this realization has really been very helpful and enlightening, honestly.
okay,
And I am an ancestor or a descendant of Nat Turner. He was my third great uncle, and I appreciate you doing the research that you've done on him. So thank you.
okay. Thank you for coming by. I definitely appreciate it. This has actually been going on. We've been trying to do this. It's been like what, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Okay, we lost contact, or we just thought, we're both busy, and we both didn't want to bother each other. I'm like, she's too busy, I don't want to bother her, and same with me, and we just never got to it, and it took something bad for us to connect again, but that's how life works. Nothing happens for coincidence,
Hmm.
and when I say bad, nothing to do with her at all. It was somebody trying to hack me, and emails got sent out. So if you guys got an email from me, guys, that was not me. All right, don't click on it because I messed up, clicked on it, and then I got hacked. So I got received an email from somebody. So anyways, either way, she replied to and she like, hey, I can't, hey, what's up? Hey, so we got back, and this is uh been something that I wanted to discuss with somebody who's an actual living descendant of Nat Turner. She is one of the people that I know existed that I can talk to. There's another person, but they're like they're like more in the limelight because they're like direct and they have the whole the museum, and I, I really don't want to bother them, and they don't really want feel comfortable actually doing it like she does. And I don't think they watch, the presentations or know the history that we talk about here, and Erica does. So it's I think that we're gonna have you guys are gonna join the conversation. Um, why the well before we talk about the reason why uh we want to talk about this Nat Turner thing. I like to if you don't mind, like explain to everybody. Um, did you always know about your ancestors, everything? Did you always know you were an Indian? Or did you think you were African? You know, pretend, you're introducing yourself to somebody new, because I think this is gonna help a lot of people that
Okay.
went going through the same journey, you know?
Okay. So yes, I have always just been told that I'm a black person
Mhm.
of African American descent and has some European ancestry. And that was pretty much the way I was raised. On my I get on my father's side, excuse me, his mother was very fair complected, and I was just she always professed to be something other than Black or African American or whatever, whatever label we're being called, you know, whatever, I guess, depending on the generation, right?
Yeah.
So she died, I guess, about 4 years ago now. And to her dying day, she would say that she was not a quote unquote Black person, and that her father told her he was a Blackfoot American Indian and that that's what he was. And she said that that's what we are. And certain things that she would say now, since she's gone, excuse me, I'm sorry, are now coming to light. But yeah, I would just laugh and I would say, "Oh, grandma, you just don't want to be a black person. You don't
Hmm.
want to be black. You don't want to be African American. I get
Yeah.
it. You look closer to being white, so that's just what you want to be." So that's what I just kind of laughed at it and I regret doing that now.
Wow, wow. And then it happens to a lot of people. I've met a lot of people I've talked to that they tell me the same story, and that's why I know a lot of the younger followers, they have their grandparents alive, and they don't take advantage. They're not, or even the longtime followers, you guys are not talking to your elders, and hopefully you won't regret it one day, that you didn't. But that's why I always recommend, talk to, whatever, just be the bigger person, just get the info and just tell them why you're doing it, heart to heart, you know. But definitely don't want to regret it later on, you wanna be able to like, make them feel special because you're like, thank you, grandma, thank you for telling me and trying to tell me and I wasn't listening, so you know. But I want you guys to make Erica feel comfortable. This is not easy coming on a big platform, and this is like her first time kind of doing this, and this is all emotional, guys. I get emotional. Some of you get emotional because we're talking about the living legacy of the paper genocide. We're talking about real examples. We're not talking about just myths, stories, legends. We're talking about real people, and that's why, I had Red Lion on the other day, and we got Erica on today because we're going to talk about that. So you grew up basically like everybody else, we all got indoctrinated, they taught us out of Africa theories, and so your grandma's trying to tell you, and it was there like that, only that grandma? Uh,
Um, well, kind of, I would say yes and no. So that's on my father's side. His he grew up with his stepdad, who, ironically, knowing that his stepdad was from American Indian descent,
mm-hmm,
and was an American Indian. But if you looked at him through, through our colonized eyes or through America's eyes, he just looked like a black man, right? Um, but he knew a lot about his history. And so my dad always knew that his biological father was related to Nat Turner. And he would say to me all the time, our last name shouldn't have been what it is. It should have been something else. Um, but I just always thought Nat Turner was a runaway slave
mm-hmm,
of African descent.
mm-hmm,
It wasn't until I started doing my research and coinciding at the same time as listening to your videos that I realized, oh my gosh, it's not just my father's mother's side, it's also my father's father's side who has
mm-hmm,
this American Indian ancestry. And so yes and no, I would say. And there's certain things that we do or we've done in day-to-day practice that I think back like, oh my gosh, my grandmother told me to do this to my son's foot when he has a fever. These are American Indian practices.
mm-hmm,
So, and then on my mom's side, um, my grandmother called herself colored. She referred to herself as a colored person. Or she would say, since we're from Washington, D.C., she would call herself a native Washingtonian. And I just thought it meant just because she was born here, raised here. But I'm starting to feel like that those words really truly do hold weight and that it means something more than just that like city label, you know.
exactly, exactly. It definitely does. Um, I'm just reading through the chat. I just want you to know, people are very grateful you're here telling the story.
Oh,
All right.
thank you.
It says, this side, we all know the truth now. We love you, sisters. Much love, Erica. So this is why we're here. We're all kind of healing because we all kind of got the same similar stories, in our families. And, sometimes we do need to talk about it and get it off and let people just see the people and not just worry about the books. Me and Erica had we were talking for a while this morning. We talked about a lot of things. So, like I was telling her, all right, I was telling her, it's not always just about the info, like just reading books and stuff. Sometimes I like to have the people here. We have, again, living legacy. so you guys can see this is real. This is not, and she's not just talking. We're gonna get to the tree and all that. This is not just her just making up things, you know. We do ask that you come, if you come in here, come with respect, come with an open heart, open mind, you know. If you don't vibe with it, you can go on your way. You don't have to listen or believe anything. You know, this ain't about trying to convince anybody. We're done with all that. We're trying to tell people who we are. It's not a belief, it's fact, it's history, it's knowing yourself truly. So why she came here, right? I know you guys, I'm gonna say it because it's okay. It's like we need to heal and we need to like really hold people accountable. And this ain't about hating, because if you guys would know it would be wrong if somebody's trying to erase your ancestor and say they're a fictional character. How would you guys feel if somebody was saying that your ancestor is a fictional character? And I'm talking about Dan Calloway. Dan Calloway did a video saying that Nat Turner was a fictional character, as well as Harriet Tubman, which both those statements are false or wrong. Okay. Now, this ain't about one specific person, but what I'm trying to tell you is don't believe me. Don't believe Dan. You guys gotta verify everything. Don't be blind followers. Verify the info we're showing. Okay. I'm just saying that we got a living descendant right here. All right. I have two videos, guys, that I would love you guys if you can have a background of. I'm showing them in the screen right now. It's this one right here, episode 5, Genealogical Stories, where I did Nat Turner's ancestry. This is how I was able to, well, Erica met, she ran into my video. She saw that I actually connected to her tree by doing history, and she had hit me up when I did this video, and we just never linked up, you know. Later on, I did a video just on his Nottoway Indian ancestry, the Turners, actually, the Turner family from that area. They are Nottoway Indians, or the Shirweng Haka. I think that's how you say it. And I showed that video. I want you guys to check that out, have a background. But I want to ask you, Erica, how did you feel well, how do you feel about both videos, the genealogy video I did, and then Dan Calloway's video?
I think your video was well done, extremely thorough. It was heartfelt and genuine. Honestly feel like he's just inflammatory and just spreading all kinds of misinformation. I come from a very long, strong line of Turners. There's a lot of us, especially in the Southampton, Virginia area, and we know our history. And to have somebody say, he's not real, that what are you saying? My father is a real person. He comes
Mhm.
from that lineage. And so was his father and his father's father. So, and my great great grandmother. So I just get bothered when I hear that. And to see so many people believe him, it's like, what are you doing? Just listen to this man talk, spreading misinformation just because he wants to cause an uprising. That makes no sense. Um, so I've always known ever since I was a little girl, my dad told me that Nat Turner is a part of our family, but my dad was also nervous about that. He said he's even to this day, he said he's afraid that people would try to hurt us because of what Nat Turner did. Um, so yeah, and it's something I've grown up with. Yeah, I'm in my 40s. This is something that since I was a little girl that I've heard long before YouTube or Dane Calloway or anybody else.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I I found out based on my other friend who had also he knew descendants of Nat Turner, living descendants, and they didn't like the video. They're not gonna come out in public and say they don't even want to bother with it. But I wanted somebody to be able to come and at least say, hey, no, man, I'm real. What do you mean? I'm real.
That's right.
I'm
That's right.
I'm real.
That's right.
I'm not an act of Congress. I'm not whatever you're saying I am, fictional, whatever. I'm
Hmm.
real. And again, guys, this is not about going somebody, but you gotta understand, how would you feel if somebody that big who can influence so many people, right? Who you trust, who you
Right.
follow blindly, who you literally, hey, you should link up with him, Kurimeo, you should link up. Like you guys are still telling me to, right? Like, and even when I tell him, hey, what do you mean? Like I got the genealogy and ignore me, right? I'm trying to contact him private, things like that. We don't talk about it ever. So, but what I'm saying is, imagine your ancestors getting erased like that by somebody you thought was supposed to be helping our people.
Mm-hmm.
Us. We, us. Anyways, so that's why we had her come, and you guys see, you can get mad at me, but you can't be mad at her. You know, that would be wrong. She's a living person. She has a right to come here and say, why are you saying, false information? Why are you spreading false information about my family?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody listening, you guys should be better people as well and hold people accountable. You gotta, it's not about trying to make his channel go down. It's about helping him improve. Hey man, next time do a little more research. It's help. These are all learning opportunities. And we ain't going at nobody's. Every time you make a mistake at work or anything like this, it's a learning opportunity, right? That's what you learn. This is the same thing. If you're humble enough, right? If you can be humble enough to say, yeah, I had that wrong, but you probably will never hear that from him. I challenge him to 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 apologize to Erica and all the living descendants. I challenge him to do that. I bet you he won't.
Mm-hmm.
Without saying anything extra at the end, just say, I'm sorry, I had it wrong. Can you be a big man like that and say it? All right, that's it. We don't need to, that's the challenge.
And the
That's the
funny thing is,
challenge.
I think he's in my area too. I think he's
Yeah.
local to the DMV. So I even reached out to him on one of his lives and he just got an instant attitude, shut it down. I just thought, how rude is that? So I just, after that moment, I just said, I'm done with him because,
Okay.
that's just wrong.
All right.
So,
Well, you guys, I know you guys like the gossip. Go ahead. I tell him. Yeah, he said, hey, Kurimeo said this. You got a challenge. Yeah, go ahead. Tell him. It's all matter because we're talking about real people, and it was disrespectful to say that. He didn't
yeah.
understand that. I was trying to tell him that in private. We were trying to explain, like, and that's why I did the video to help some of his followers see and help them see that it's actually a real person. And it still didn't work. Blind following in a
Mm.
lot of ways. Um, Now, before we get to how you relate to Nat Turner, we can show it, we can show everybody. Um, since we're setting things right, and now you also had an experience with Mike TV.
Oh, oh my
Just
God.
briefly, this is just a public
Yeah.
how do you say warning, right? Like we're just trying to help you so it
Yeah.
doesn't happen to you, right? You guys
Yeah.
already know I did a video exposing his criminal background and how he's scamming a lot of people that are coming to me, telling me they're still coming to me even after the video, telling me I got scammed by. What was your experience with him?
So I'm embarrassed to say, but I will say, and I've been wanting to say for a long time, but I just thought, where am I going to say this because I don't have a platform. But so thank you for letting me say it here. I really appreciate that. I was hoping that you guys are trailblazers. You really are because there are not many people at all speaking about this. And so I wanted to believe that all three of you were genuine, good people. But I did schedule and pay for a session with him. And he didn't come on camera, didn't show his face. Like you came on camera, you showed your face and communicated well. He didn't come on camera. And essentially, I showed him my tree, and just, he just pretty much told me there's not much he could do for me because I'd already done so much research on my own. And I'd already paid for a session with him.
Yeah.
And then he was pushing me to buy a bigger package, which was like $1,000 or something crazy. And I just
Wow.
thought, well, if you already said you really can't help me because I've already done so much research and I've gone back, farther than he had, then what can you do for me? So then he kept sending me, I think like emails or something. This was a couple years ago. Kept sending me emails asking me to consider doing the special rate. It would only be a special rate of like $1,000 for a certain amount of time. And the funny thing is, while I was on the call with him, he received a phone call from someone else. and they were saying, "Oh, I saw that you were advertising a special." And he said, "Oh, well, you missed it. You missed the special price, so now it's this amount of money." And he didn't know that I wasn't muted. And I just thought to myself, like, wow, he's a scam artist. And this is before you did a video on him. Because when was that? 3 months ago. Yep. So this was,
Mhm.
a year plus ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm.
okay. So as you guys see, so again, I don't do these videos just to, but I just can't. I'm not a person that turns a blind eye to things, guys. I'm not. Maybe you do that. You turn a cheek and you don't say nothing. You don't hold people accountable. You let wrong keep happening. There's something Martin Luther King said once. I don't know if you guys remember. He said, "It's not the bad people that make the world bad. It's the good people that don't do nothing about it when they see it happening." All right. And again, yeah, I do history. You think I'm just a YouTuber influencer, but we're gonna talk about real things sometimes like this too, guys. And again, I told you the other day, remembering our ancestors is one thing, but living like them is also another thing. We didn't do this foolishness. And things like this got called out. When people acted a fool like this in the tribe or in the clan, they got called out, they got separated, they got banished, they got punished, they got something. That didn't go down like this, guys. But we allow it to keep happening, and we blind because I like one thing he says, or his music to my ears, this thing. So I'm gonna just he looks like me more than hey. So that's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. All right. So this ain't about bachelor. We're gonna get to remembering the ancestors, like in just like your whole journey. I don't know if you want to share it or you want me to share it. Would you like to share it since you can navigate through it
Sure.
better?
That's
Okay.
fine. That's fine.
All right. So I do want to just show on my tree, just real quick, right? How is this it? Uh, the siblings, right?
Hmm.
Uh,
Yep. I'm Mac.
oh, is this one right here, right? No, Nathan's. Oh, Nathan. No, Nathan's. Benjamin's kids. There we go. No, I
I
lost
do
it
the same
already.
thing.
We got it, guys. Don't worry. Here we go. Siblings. Yeah, where are they? Oh, here we go.
I thought I saw them the first time.
Mac. Mac.
There is Mac.
There we go.
Yep.
So Erica descends through Mac Turner, who is Nat Turner's brother. All right, is fully recorded, the whole family story, everything up to Mac. There's no doubt what they're finding. There's no doubt of Mac being Nat Turner's um, brother, and again, it's part of the family history, guys. Okay, these are real people, and I don't play around with the genealogy. That's what I found, even without Erica, knowing Erica. This is what popped up in the records. Okay, so I'm gonna stop screen sharing. So you tell us whatever you want. Talk about people here listening. We all just want to remember and tell the story and have a person that's actually from the people tell it, not just me reading a book.
Well, I enjoy when you read books too, because I shared earlier that I don't really like to read. I like to keep moving, so I'll listen
Hmm.
to you reading your books in my ears. I'm
Okay.
cleaning up or whatever I'm doing throughout my house. But yeah, I was so honored when I saw your name pop up in my ancestral tree. Let me see if I can pull it up now.
Hmm.
But I was so honored when I saw you, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Because I follow you on YouTube,
You're not
and I
sharing yet.
okay, I'm about to hit the share
Okay,
screen.
okay, okay,
There
no
we go.
worries, just in case.
Thank
All right.
you. I appreciate. No, you're fine. Thank you. Because he knows Kurimeo knows that I'm not used to this, so I'm doing the best I can.
Mhm.
Um, so here we go. So here's Mac right here, and I haven't dedicated, 100% to this tree, but because I have a large, a big tree and a lot of different branches to follow. But yeah. So here's Mac right here, and then. What do I find? Where is he? So, so anyway, I was just going to say that I was surprised when I found, so I knew that these people were all a part of my tree. I don't want to scroll down because I don't want to give out too many of my
Yeah,
living
don't worry.
relatives.
Hmm.
But I was surprised when I found it because then I realized that they were from the Nottoway tribe. But then when I was doing some of my research, I saw something that said that Nancy was from Ethiopia or somewhere along the Nile. And I was like, what is this confusion? This is crazy because it was clear to me that they weren't from there and it was just too many people from this part of Virginia and this tribe kept popping up. And I just thought to myself, oh my gosh, all this time was Nat Turner truly an American Indian?
Hmm.
And then, going down this whole rabbit hole for like a year, and then all of a sudden I saw you in my searching in the tree, and I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm on to something. And that's when I reached out to you. And so yeah, so that's how I found it. But I
Did
was just searching.
Was there any ever mention like on your family that did they know what tribe or did they even know that he was an Indian?
You know what? So on my father's father died when my father was like 6 years old. So he wasn't really close to his family on his
Hmm.
on his dad's side.
Yeah,
But as an adult, he started to develop a relationship with them. And I must have been like maybe 19 or 20 years old when I started talking to my great uncles and great aunts. And they really didn't mention it. They just talked about family stuff. And so I'm Facebook friends with several hundred of my relatives from that area, from that direct lineage. And as I started doing my research, I started to find and I reached out to them and I would ask questions. And they said, oh, yeah, we know we have American Indian blood. We just don't really practice anything, but we know we have, some of us have tribal citizenship or such.
yeah.
And then I started reading in their profile pictures and it showed that they know this. They know that they have Nottoway or whatever different
Mm,
American Indian tribal affiliations or
yeah.
I had no idea. I was honestly very surprised to find all this out. Pleasantly surprised, but at the same time just wondering why. Why is it such a secret? And why are they lying? Why did they create this movie, this whole out of Africa theory when he was
Mm.
straight from here?
Yeah, so they have a movie, right? That
Mm-hmm.
you're saying I haven't watched it, but
Called
um
Nat. I believe it's called
they
Nat.
I think I did remember seeing the trailer. They made him an African in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
how did you feel when you realized he was most likely not away, and many probably other things too.
Mm-hmm. I felt betrayed, honestly. Um, I felt like, although I know he existed, unlike what some people say, which honestly I've heard more people say that he exists rather than the ones who said that he doesn't. But anyway, I just felt like I have to unearth some mystery. Like I have to keep searching because there's a reason that they're hiding this from us. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because of land. I don't know if it's because of money in terms of like reparations and such. But I don't know. I think that there's a fear if people know that if we're already a strong people.
Hmm.
So I think that if they know that we know that this is truly our land, then who knows what we would do.
Yeah.
So I think that it has something to do with power, money, yeah, all of that.
Hmm. And like after you got past the because I know what you're saying. Like when you find out certain truths, it could get emotional in a bad way. Like why didn't they tell us this? Like, but then after that, how did you feel realizing this truth
Mm.
that you probably felt all your life? Like how has it been this experience just like overall, And did that lead you to find other things?
Yeah, it led me to find a lot. I had no idea that I had so many American Indians in my family. Like I said, my grandmother, who was married to my grandfather before he died. And my grandfather is the one who's related to Nat Turner. But I had no idea that both my grandmother and grandfather had such strong American Indian roots. Um, I had no idea. And then as I was researching that, I came to find out that my mom has American Indian, and not just American, but indigenous to Canada and Mexico.
Hmm.
So this has just opened up a whole new world for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to like, and I know you're gonna help me kind of show, but and I know you don't, and I'm definitely not talking to you. But there is I just want to remind people, everybody listening and people in the live chat, guys, it's not just about color. Remember, like, yeah, we know melanated folks, yes, but there's many shades of that too, and there's many different looks. And remember, when you're saying black Indians, and you're automatically doing what they do. Uh, so who's the white Indians? Like, it's just Indians. Not about black. It's not about, okay? So, um, if you're willing to, yeah, if you want to show like some of the different looks in your family and the people
Yeah.
who they related to.
So this is my grandfather, my father's father. I'm sorry I don't have any polished pictures, but I mean, this is just me telling my story. So I just literally took pictures of pictures. But this is my grandfather, my father's father, who
You look
is
as
there.
smooth.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. That's my granddad. So he was the one who was directly related to Nat Turner. So that's my granddad. And so he died when my dad was like 6 years old. And I have a picture of my father, my grandfather, and my grandmother together, but I don't have it handy. But here's another one of my grandmother who was married to him. Let me bring it back up. So she remarried when my grandfather died. And this was her husband, my step grandfather, who we've always known to be to have American Indian
That
heritage.
so that's his dad, right? His parents?
This one, so that's my grandmother, my biological grandmother, but the gentleman on her left is my step grandfather,
Okay. But that's your grandmother right
and
there,
that's my
right?
grandmother, right?
So this is exactly what I was just talking about. You guys see, like, she's light. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
could
Yeah,
be
and
almost as light as me.
yeah, yeah. If not, and to be honest with you, she may even be lighter because she didn't tan. She
Mm,
didn't tan. Yeah. So let me show you another picture. So this is her when she was young. On the left, that's her right here. This is her father, and that's his
okay.
sister. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is, and he passed for Portuguese to get
He
a
looks
decent job.
he could be my uncle.
See?
He
Yep.
looks like a lot of Costa Ricans.
But what did they for in
They all
terms of?
do.
But you know what? For the census, they have them down as colored. So, yep.
All right.
Um,
Just one second.
mhm.
Hey guys, we're not talking about white or black, and if you say you're gonna get blocked, it's because you're provoking something. Guys, just chill, man. And just respect that we're listening to Erica. You guys don't interrupt in the live chat, man. Like that's the main reason you'll get kicked out. Not because you're talking about crayon colors, but just out of respect, man. And you know, thank you. So, okay. And are these on your dad's side, right?
Yes. So this is my
Okay.
dad's mom's side.
Okay.
So this is the side that I had the most communications with because my grandfather died when my father was six. But on his side, let me see, most of them on my dad's side, on the side where Nat Turner was
Yeah.
related to,
Yeah.
most of them, not all of them, were dark complected. Some of them were like brown skin, some of them were light, but most of them were dark complected people. Um, but they looked like a lot of them looked like the traditional or the stereotypical, I should say, stereotypical American Indian look.
Mm-hmm.
But they were mostly dark complected people. And
Okay.
yeah. And so
But what does the record say? How do they categorize them?
colored, Negro,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yep.
Mulatto.
Yep,
maybe.
and mulattoes, some mulattoes too. And it's funny because even like with my grandmother's side, who they were all very light complected, you see some mulatto, you see some color, but mostly you see Negro. And you see Negro, and let me show you this picture. I need to rotate it though. Let me see if I can. So this picture right here, they
Mm-hmm.
have them all down as Negro. And I have pictures, I can't pull them up right now, but at some point I probably can. And down, especially down his side, my great grandfather, no, I'm sorry, my great grandfather down his side, they were all light with the exception of, I think his grandmother. She looked like she was American Indian. She looked like she had that tan, colored skin. Um, but yeah. And then down my great grandmother's side, she had more, it was hard to find her people. It's still hard to find her people. It's harder. But there was a little story that my grandmother told me once that they broke up at some point because he found out that she had, I think, too much or some African ancestry, and he didn't know that. But then when I talked to certain relatives, they're like, "Oh, that's not true." But I used to talk to my grandmother like every day on the phone, and I know what she told me. And it made sense because I didn't see any African ancestry at all on his side. So I don't know. He still has one living child, no, two living children. I have a
Uh-huh.
great uncle and a great aunt, but my great aunt is one of a relationship that he had or a marriage that he had after he and my great grandmother broke up. So I don't talk to her, but I would like to reach out to her because I think she could impart a lot of wisdom. But but again, this is not Nat Turner's side. That's just something that was unearthed while I
Mm-hmm.
was doing my ancestry search. So
Okay. And you think maybe there's something there also with the Portuguese, why he used it, like maybe like related to the
there
actual
may be.
Portuguese, melanated Portuguese that came, the Sephardic, the crypto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there may be something there. I haven't found that yet, but I hope to. But there may be something there.
Okay. And so, but there's in all these lines there's like stories or of possible Indians.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Definitely on my grandmother's side, she said that they were Blackfoot. That's what she said. Um,
Okay.
but I didn't understand how that could be because
So
she's from South
I like
Carolina.
okay. Yeah, the Carolinas. So
Mm-hmm.
all right. So yeah, Blackfoot. So we're gonna talk about uh the Eastern Siouan uh dialect, which is Tutelo, right? One of them. So Tutelo, the word Saponi, and there's Saponi Indians, right? I was telling Erica this so she can have some understanding, remind everybody. So I know you guys, a lot of you have, yeah, Cherokee and Blackfoot, Cherokee and Blackfoot, Cherokee and Blackfoot. And that's for a reason. Um, Cherokee did kind of become like a generalized word for Indian. A lot of the so-called Cherokees are not really, they go back to Creeks, Eastern Siouans, Powhatan people, Iroquois people. So but the Blackfoot in general is related to Saponi, Catawbas, or Eastern Siouan tribes.
Hmm.
The word Saponi in the Tutelo language actually means Blackfoot, Sapone, right? Saponi. And then, there is a clan. The Catawba had a actual clan called the Blackfoots, the Catawba. So they're probably just the Saponi relatives. All right. So I just want you guys to understand that. All right. And so try to get the details when you're saying I'm Blackfoot and try to get the details. Like she said, Carolinas. Yeah, that's definitely a lot of Eastern Siouans over there, especially in that area. So you mentioned another tribe, and I was like, yeah, that's another Eastern Siouan tribe. Which one was that one?
Was it there's so many in my tree. It wasn't Tuscarora, was it? I know that was one of the
The
five
the
civilized.
the Chera.
Oh, Sherrah. Oh yeah, my
Yeah,
grandmother
Chera.
was born in Sherrah, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And after she died, I know I haven't shared this on your live, but it's very hard for me. It's very hard for me because my grandmother kept telling me that she was American Indian,
Uh-huh.
and I just didn't believe her. I just thought, oh, what I've always heard, oh, you just light skinned and you just want to you don't want to be a black person
Hmm.
because that's how we are. No matter what the complexions are, the shades are in this country, you're black. And so um that's how we're forced to identify. Even though you look at yourself and you're like, I'm not a crayon color. I'm not black, but that's what we're told we are. And that's a part of
Yeah.
our culture, right? And so I just always dismissed her. And I would just think like, oh my gosh, she's just a victim of her time. She was born, she was during the civil rights era, she was, afraid or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
And so when she passed away 4 years ago, I started taking a deep dive into my ancestry. And I went to Charlotte, South Carolina, somewhere that she had not visited since she was a little girl. And
Yeah.
when I got there, I realized, wow, it's such a small town and it's still, in some ways, pretty segregated. Um, but the people there are very loving, very, very kind. And I find that the people there who were, what we would call Black people
Hmm.
were very loving and welcoming of me. And the people who she actually were related to were mostly people who looked mostly like European, were not. I wasn't completely surprised, but to be honest with you, but it felt good to know, and that just speaks to how we say, all skin folk and kinfolk, or because she even said to me, the woman said to me who I met there in the courthouse, she said, I think you're related in some way, but she said, I think you're on the white side. And I'm thinking, looking at myself like, how am I really truly related to you on the white side? And when I started taking a deeper dive, I realized how and why she said that. But to this day, we keep in touch, and I love her dearly. She helped me a lot when I went down there because I didn't know what I was unearthing when I went down to Charlotte, South Carolina. Um, yeah, I unearthed a lot of things that some people would have rather to this day, I'm sure, keep, hidden.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's if you didn't know, that sounds like possible Eastern Sun
Mm-hmm.
ancestry, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you have. And was this all on your dad's side too, or that's on your mom? Okay,
Yeah,
that's all on your dad's side.
that's all on my
So
dad's side.
so you guys see that's just on her dad's side, and
Mm-hmm.
that's that she knows of. So I'm
Yep.
sure there's like lines that there's still like dead ends and stuff that we're still trying to figure out, and that's with all of you guys. Um, so any more like you think of like indigenous or anything pertinent in that side of your on your dad's side that you want to talk about or
Yeah, sure. I also grew up hearing that, and this is, again, like I said, back in the day, we didn't have the internet. We only had word of mouth, and that was
yeah.
our like a strong asset for us is that we had these oral stories or oral histories that we would tell, and from my grandparents, great grandparents, all the way down to me. And I was always very curious about my family history because growing up, even in this area, people would sometimes say to me, "Oh, where are you from? Or where are you really from?" And I would be like, "Well, I'm from here. What do you mean?" Um, so I was always interested, and I started thinking, why do people ask me that? And my family looks like a rainbow. I have people in my family who are are very dark skinned, and some people who look like, white people with blonde hair. So, and that's all on my dad's side because again, and I always say my family on both sides looks like a rainbow. Um, so I was surprised when I found as much as I did on my dad's side. But I just, if I may just say briefly that like you said earlier, if somebody's alive, just talk to them and ask them, don't take for granted because my grandmother just dropped dead. She wasn't sick. She was very, very lively and very active. I feel guilty every day that I did not take advantage of the time that I spent with her. And I talked to her like every single day. And I
Mm-hmm.
just dismissed the fact that she told me we were American Indian. I could have found out more about my heritage. And I pride myself on researching and knowing as much as I do know, but I could have found out so much more. And I
Yeah.
didn't because I just dismissed her. And I feel guilty about that to this day. And the last time she called me, I didn't answer the phone. I was upset with her. And I said, oh, I'll call her
Wow.
tomorrow. And tomorrow never came and she died that
Mm.
day. And
Wow. I'm
I miss
sorry to hear
her.
that.
Thank you. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I really regret not talking to her. I could have found out a lot more, but I am grateful for the time that I had and for the information that she imparted on me, the wisdom, the knowledge that she did leave behind. And I was able to find a lot more when I went to Sarah, South Carolina. Um, and yeah, but then also then the other thing is on my mom's side, I can show a picture of my mom and my dad. I don't think I've shared that yet. But
Mhm.
on my mom's side, I was so surprised. Let me find the picture.
So I just want to, guys, very important, talk to your elders. This is what I'm saying.
Mm,
You're gonna regret it later when they're gone. If you have them alive, take advantage.
that's right.
And if you guys just join us, please, we're not here about black or white, black Indians. You guys gotta get rid of that term. And the fact you're still saying black and Native American and all that in the same sentence, like there's more understanding that it can be, it could be attained. And if you would like to, expand your understanding of things and history and ethnicity and ancestry and what these modern racial categories really are, we shouldn't, try to understand, it's very a lot of there's a lot of uh there's differences when using these terms, especially in our community because we've gotten past the tags and shown what they mean and stuff. So, guys, if you're here still on the color thing, you got a lot to learn. If you're new to my channel, make sure you catch up. I just ask you to take the time, please to go ahead and verify the info and see what I'm saying. Also, Daphne, I see you in the chat. I see, you know, I've been here 8 years, Erica, she reached out to me 3 years ago. I don't know if you reached out to me telling me you're a descendant of Nat Turner as well. But hey, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Telegram, I got my Patreon page, my emails on the about section of the YouTube page. Like there's many ways to contact me, guys. So you're saying you've been saying it for years, but I don't think I've ever received anything from you. So if you like to do it too, I'm more than happy to listen to you too. Reach out to me. All right. No worries. And okay, let's go back with Erica. Thank you.
Mhm.
So who are these again? These are your parents, right?
So these are my parents. This is my mom and this is my dad,
Wow.
right here. And so my dad is the one who's a descendant of
Turner.
Turner, and my mom, I just always thought that my mom came from African descent, and that was it.
Yeah.
And while I was researching my ancestry, and I don't subscribe to just DNA at all because I know it's much more than that. But maybe like 12 years ago, I did a DNA test, and on my mom's side, I was surprised to see that she had indigenous Canadian, indigenous to Mexico, and the United States of America, or to the Americas as a whole. And I was surprised, and so I was like, "Whoa, well, what does this mean?" Because the as much as I heard on my that I was American Indian on my dad's side, I didn't see that in his DNA. I saw like Polynesian and something else. But then when I did the paper trail, is where I found all of these documents. And I've traveled to a lot of these places, and I've filmed things, I've taken pictures, just so I could have that proof. And I
Mm-hmm.
said one day maybe I'll just put it online for my family members to see because we have a lot of relatives like this person who you were talking to, Daphne. I could be more than likely related to her too. And I just thought, let me put this out there so it'll be like a recorded family tree or informational site or something. And since I live in Maryland, I went to the Library of Congress. I've done research there. They've asked me to write like a manual to show people how I've done my research because I've done so much of it, but I just haven't had time. I'm just so busy. I don't have time to do it. But again, so on my mom's side, I found that she had this DNA, and I was like, how is this possible? And so I started researching it. Then I started brainstorming, and I remember my grandmother, her mother, will refer to herself as being a colored person. She never called herself a black person. She never called herself African American. She in fact would say, and both my mother and my grandmother were darker than me. And
Mm-hmm.
my grandmother would say, I'm a colored person, and she would call me yellow with no malice. My grandmother loved me, you know, through and through. I spent a lot of time with her, but she would refer to us as like our undertone. She would call me a yellow person. She would call one of her other kids red. And so that's just how she talked. And my mother would say things like, Mama, don't talk like that. We don't talk like that anymore. And as a little girl, I took all this information in. And my grandmother and one of my aunts to this day, who's still living, and she'll laugh. I have to tell her to watch the video, but she
Mhm.
calls herself a native Washingtonian. Where did that speech come from? You
This
know,
is
my
on your mom's side, right?
all on my mom's side.
Okay.
So does that mean
Yeah.
anything? Does anybody know? Can you tell me?
Yeah, she's talking about the indigenous people of that area where she's from. In Washington, you're saying DC?
Yes.
Okay, it could be a lot of things. It could be Nottoway, it could be what's the one with the tall tribe? There's a tall tribe, I forget their name. So if you guys know some of the tribes in the area of the Washington DC, put them in the chat. All right. Hard to remember everything. But
Yeah.
uh but that's yeah, that's I think that's what she meant, that she's from the indigenous people of this area, you
I
know.
agree with you.
And
There's also a plantation that I tracked her side to on my mom's side, which there were Tylers and such, but they came from Somerset, Maryland. So
okay.
that's the as much information I can get from her side mostly.
And so what doing the tree on your mom's side, did you find some indication of some Indians or like
Um,
no, you showed me something earlier. Is that on your mom's side, the Powhatan stuff
no,
or
that was on my dad's side. That was
okay.
all on his side.
Wow. So your dad
Yeah.
had Eastern Siouan, Powhatan, Nottoway, that we know of.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. So it could be a lot more. And then the fact that just on your mom's side they're saying the same thing. And
Mm-hmm.
this is what I've been trying to tell everybody. Like it's not just one side, it's not just one line. You guys most likely have Indians on every line. You know, those last names most likely came from European at one point, but
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean that's the whole blood or that's the origin only. That's just where the name's coming from.
Mm.
But your
Yeah.
people's been here thousands of years, you know. Um, like when you go back, like all the things that she's showing on her dad's side, imagine uh thousands of years these people been here and all of a sudden, you know, now he's an African, you know, Nat Turner, you know, all that ancestry they're leaving out.
It's crazy.
Anything you like to show on the tree or anything else you want to like
Um, well,
just talk about? I think you think important to people to just know and understand.
I could show a little bit of what I found.
Okay.
Um, just in terms of as I was researching how it unearthed all these different tribes. Let me see if I can pull it up without sharing too much. If I may, can I stop sharing for a second and then
Yeah.
start sharing again? Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
thank
Yeah. No
you.
worries. That way I can share the indigenous tribes of Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Okay. So what's this? Okay. Let's see what we're saying here. Oh, our native peoples, Washington, D.C. Let's see. There's probably going to be a lot. Where is it? Uh, so we got Anacostia within present District of Columbia, the Nacotchtank, the Nacotchtank, or Anacostin, who were affiliated with the Conoy. So these are like the main people in the actual DC area. That was their name. Another village was located between Little Falls and Georgetown, and there was a Nacotchtank village called Tohoga on the site of present-day Georgetown. The Nacotchtank were a trading people as they were established on fertile land with nearby rivers. During his 1608 expedition, English explorer John Smith noted the prosperous Nacotchtank and their great supply of various resources. The Nacotchtank were closely associated with the larger Piscataway chiefdom of Maryland, okay, whose Tayak, Grand Chief, ruled over a confederacy of area tribes. All right, that's a little of the breakdown right there, in case you guys were wondering that you're listening to, if you're from that area, or your people's actually indigenous to that area, not that they live there, but indigenous to the area. Okay. And let me know when you're.
Ooh, that's powerful because I have a lot of I've heard a lot of oral history and have seen proof of on my mom's side, a lot of her relatives were from the Georgetown area.
Oh,
And
okay.
so all throughout DC, but they were originally from like the Georgetown area when they first moved to DC, and some in the Anacostia area too. Yeah. Um, okay, so I'm about to share again just so I can let me show this person. Okay. All
I
right.
just wanna say something. Somebody says, why not call yourself a person or a human? And if believe it or not, a lot of the tribal names, like when we say a tribe's name, in their language, it actually means we the people or us the people. So we are. We are. In case you didn't know that, Foxy, we are. Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is along my dad's side again. But this is his mom's side, the side that I was just like, oh, you don't, Grandma, what are you talking about? We don't have any Native American or American Indian.
Uh-huh.
What do you mean? And this is his, let's see something. It's his second, I believe it's his second, grandmother.
Okay. Yeah, so your
So
third great grandma.
yes.
Okay.
And this is her right here. And it's funny because when I found the picture, I was like, wow, she was a rather handsome woman and with those strong features.
Yeah.
And so I was looking, I'm like, wow, okay. So that's interesting. And then as I continued to, let me see, to dig a little deeper, um, I went down her line
You showed
and
me her son earlier, or
oh yeah, that's right. I did.
yeah, I just want people to.
Oh yeah, right here, her son. Let me show you her son. This is her
Yeah,
son right
I just
here.
want people to see, because so they don't. You see, guys. So you
Yeah,
see
that's her
how
son.
that's all families. Mother, son.
Mm-hmm. And I was on my father's side. They were all different complexions, different colors. That's him right there. And so then, let me see. So that's down his line and his mother. And then as you go deeper, as went deeper and deeper and deeper, where is it? I saw this name Freeman and I saw Outlaw. And I thought, huh, that's interesting. And that's
Hmm.
when I started to unearth this whole side right here.
Mm-hmm.
And as I did, then I was in for a rude awakening. I haven't finished doing all of it, but
That Shawanoki, look at that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
Shawanoki Indian.
And let's see, where's another
Freeman
one?
Freeman Shawanoki.
Yeah, so then
But is
right
that their
here.
actual name, or is that just something somebody put there? That's not their, like when they're saying Freeman. It's like that. Is that their, what I mean? Is that an actual surname, or is that just they're just being called Freedman?
For that one, I believe it was supposed to be the surname.
Okay.
Um, but I think as I went deeper on this one was a little tricky because when I researched it back, I was like, how did it go back to England all of a sudden when these people were American Indian? So I stopped
Well,
accepting the hints because I didn't understand.
it can get confusing like that, but sometimes this is like in my videos. I just recently did one on the Scots and Irish
Mm-hmm.
that became Indian. If you watch that video, a lot of the people we thought were 100% Indian were already mixed bloods,
Okay.
and that's where so maybe like there's something in there. It might be a little off, but also you could be also adding from other people's trees,
Mm-hmm.
and they could be carrying. But a lot of people that we thought were 100%, even already in the 1700s, 1600s, were already mixed bloods. And that's how they got to become chiefs, because they now represented both sides. And that's how when the Europeans came, they got with the women, and powerful women, right? They had to go into their lifestyle, be under the women, like to get access to the land and anything, and your offspring be able to have power like that, become chief and all that.
Yeah. I did listen to your video. It was well done. I was thinking, wow, here we go again, because this on this side there were a lot of, like Irish, Scottish, um, people. So, and obviously I don't have pictures of them all, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Just want to say we're definitely not having no identity issues. We're actually reclaiming our identities. If anybody says like we have identity issues, it's because you're ignorant of 8 years worth of research. It's okay. I'm not saying you're ignorant, but I'm saying you are ignorant of that research. You don't know it. You don't know it exists. And no, we're reclaiming our identity. Not we're not mixed. We were confused all these years when we allowed ourselves to be called tags,
yep.
such as black, colored, Latino, Hispanic, all that.
Hmm.
FBA, whatever you want to call it, you know, all that.
Amen. There we go. So, so yeah, when I unearthed this, and obviously I need to go back inside and do some more research, but I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that I found all this.
A lot of the times when I do people's tree, I end up with things like this, and then eventually I would find a book that explains more in detail. And there's a lot of things being left out, because this is pretty far back. We're talking about 1600s, 1500s. A lot of people just like mix stories and not adding things correctly. So, but it's there. The fact that it's popping up, there's definitely a history. And when you go look up these family names in this area and the history, you will find books that tell you, yeah, these were part of the Powhatan, these were part of the, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised, honestly. I didn't expect to see all this. And I mean, I could go on and on and on, but we will be here for like a week because I could go through most of these people and still see American Indians that I didn't expect to find. I was just so happy because people always say, being a black person,
Hmm.
um, that we don't know our history. And that always, that did something to me as a little girl. Um, people always say, "Oh, you don't know your history. You don't have a culture," which we all know that's not true. But the fact that people would even say it would just upset me. And I just thought to myself, if I ever have children, I want them to know where they come from. Because people just assume that we don't know. But to be honest with you, there's a lot of stuff that we didn't know because we didn't know we were indigenous to these lands. So I guess in some ways they were right. So I'm happy that all the people who were like haters and made fun of me early on, I'm glad that they did because it empowered me and it actually
Yeah.
empowered me and made me who I am today.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I kind of do with people who doubt what we're saying and think we're having identity issues and all that. We just guys just motivate us to prove it even more and more.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how would you answer this? With somebody sincerely, I'll also answer, but I want you to, because based on what was best for you, it might help the person. They're asking, what's the best way to begin one's historical research?
Hmm. I would say oral history. First, the oral history start with start with yourself, your grandparents, or your parents, your grandparents, and then start working your way back from there. That's what I did. I always asked a lot of questions and just
Exactly.
write everything down and start researching it. And once you have that little bit, you can go to their hometown and go to the library and find a lot of information that way.
Okay. So, exactly. Definitely talk to your elders, kindred spirit. Talk to your elders. It's very easy. Hey, mom, dad, where are we from? Where's grandma from? Where's grandpa from? Where were they born? Did they ever tell you anything about being Indian or part Indian or anything like that? Or any stories about anything? Just ask them and then get the info. You go to this, what we're literally showing you right now. You go to ancestry.com, you go to familysearch.org, whichever one. I recommend use both. Have both. It works better when you have both, I would say. And build the tree. It'll start out with you. It'll start out with your parents. You add the info. Eventually, you start getting hints. These little green things are hints. You go through the hints. These are records, census records, marriage certificates, birth certificates, military records, land records, all that. This is real bloodline, real ancestry, not spitting on a tube. It's
Hmm.
very different. Now, you want to spit on a tube, you want to use that as a different tool. you can do that because it can help you finding relatives or verifying, oh yeah, I am related to the Freeman in this area or the Outlaw or the Halletts. I did, your GED will match, but it can never tell you what landmass your people came out of. That's nonsense. All right. That's the hijack. They try to put you in other places of the world except here. Even though on her side, you said your mom had like indigenous Nova Scotia, which is as a to me, I can see why. I know the whole history, how those people got spread out, and through the Cajuns, through the Nova Scotians, through the Metis people, their linkage to the Southeast people, Louisiana, New Orleans, Alabama, Detroit. So yeah, there's definitely I can prove that. Like what you told me you found on your DNA, I can prove that. Like we've proven that with the paperwork, with the documents.
That would be really nice. My mom said that she really wants to know what tribe she comes from. And I said, well, there'll be multiple tribes. It wouldn't just be one. It'll be many. Um, because
Yeah,
she just didn't know. So I was happy to find that and be able to tell her that information. So yeah.
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 So Chris says, when it's hidden from you, how would you know? So that's the thing, Chris. Who's hiding it from you? Because we're telling you to talk to your family. So
Mm-hmm.
if your own family is hiding it from you, then there's nothing we can do. You can do. You got to get the info, unfortunately. And I know this is real life cases because I talked to many people who want me to help them with their genealogy. They sit me down, I schedule a session, and I realized they don't know anything, or they might be adopted by their aunt or something, and they're not telling them anything. But hey, you just got to get the info somehow. You got to reach out to your family, say, hey, I really want to do this. Why ain't you telling me? Heart to heart is do or die. Like you gotta, it's really much. That's it. You got to That's the most direct answer. You
Yeah,
know.
and if I may say something too, sometimes you can ask cousins. Sometimes you have
Hmm.
to go like around. Maybe you can't go to your parents, your grandparents. You can go around, go to a aunt, uncle, cousin, a great relative, and
Yep.
they'll give you that little bit of information that you need, even if it's one name. You'll be surprised how much you could just find from one name in that hometown, you know.
Yep. Definitely.
Hmm.
That's what a lot of people do. They go to their aunts, cousins, and they might have a lot more info than you. They might have a whole family Bible with the genealogy and everything, you never knew of. So,
Hmm.
now if you're adopted, now that's a whole different thing. I mean, it's up to your adoptive parents if they want to release that info. If they have it, if you're over 18, you can get it yourself. Um, Other than that, I mean, you got to know. There's no, that's why spitting on a tube, that's why you can be tricked spitting in a tube because there's no requirements. You got to do spit in the tube and they'll tell you who you are. That's the lazy. You ain't doing no work. You ain't putting in no work. You got to put in the work. You got to talk to your people. You don't want to have a good relationship. Hey, now is the time to have a good relation. Be the bigger person. Be the bigger person and tell them why you're doing it.
Mm, that is
Red
so
line,
true.
red line say I started with one name. There you go. You start with
Hmm.
one name, get the other one. There you go. You start building it.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree, red line, but when you're small, yeah. So yeah, anything like else you want to like just say, if while you're here before you go, if not, it's up to you if you want to kind of end it
Um,
here or
yeah, I guess I was just going to say that I'm happy that you allow me this opportunity to come on and share my story. Like we've already addressed that one branch on my tree, which was, Nat Turner, he is a real person. And even though I don't know him, I didn't know him personally, but he's still in my family line, my family tree. And I wanted people to know that he did exist and that he wasn't a fictitious character. And because of his parents and all of his ancestors, because my father is who he is today and is who I am, the reason I am who I am, and that my boys are the way that they are today. So I'm just grateful to you to give me the opportunity to come on here. And the other part of it is that, like I've already said, that I wanted to know my ancestry because it's important to me as a person of color in this country and in the world to be able to know
Mhm.
where I come from. That's very important, and for my children, and for one day when they have children, they know that their legacy. and that they come from a very strong line of people who endured. And just, lastly, because my grandmother, I love both all of my grandparents. I was especially close to both of my grandmothers, but my one grandmother who told me who we were, and I didn't believe her. And I get
Mm,
very emotional thinking about it. Whenever I think about it, whenever I talk about it, it hurts
yeah,
that I didn't listen. So I refuse to go in silence now. And now I want the world to know that I'm listening to my grandmother and she was right. And I'm
grandma
sorry.
was
And
right.
that's right. Grandma was right. And always listen to your elders and always respect
Grandma was
them.
right, guys. And
Hmm.
that's deep. That's deep. I kind of have the same because I lost my grandparents early too. So it's I wish, I wish. And guys, take advantage. Take advantage if you have your grandparents there, your elders, even your great. Some of you are so lucky you got your great grandparents still alive.
Hmm.
It's amazing. So take advantage. I do want to thank you for coming on and telling the story, so I don't look like I'm the guy just bashing that one guy and like, hey, I thank you because it is important to set the record straight.
Hmm.
Um, you are real. Your people are real.
That's
They
right.
they're not fictional characters. They weren't created by Illuminati or whatever they're saying. I don't know what whatever the story is. I didn't really. I watched the video. I didn't see no proof of what he was saying. Just declarations. But you know, thank you for having the strong will and strong spirit to come here and do this. Even if it's your first time, and I appreciate you very much for doing that. I think a lot of people will enjoy this conversation and find it useful. And I hope that people become better people for it, and it helps them. And hopefully, if they didn't got their ancestry genealogy done, that this motivates them to do it. All right.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Yeah.
Just thank you for coming on and you and your family and for
Thank you.
allowing
Thank
your
you.
time,
Thank you.
with
It
us.
means a lot. I hope to be able to help other people. So I'm going to
Okay,
create my own little YouTube um, page or
definitely.
something called Roots and Realities is what I'm going to call it. So I can help other people. And I would like to even meet with people in person and, maybe help them go and travel and do some research. So
Definitely. And you know, definitely do it. I encouraged her to do it earlier. As soon as she has her channel, we'll definitely let everybody know, which I'll share it on my wall and everything. And
mhm.
just keep doing it. Always, always, always though, even though, as long as you commend yourself with the great spirit of the Most High, you shouldn't get no too much bad people, but just always be careful, who you give your heart to, because I don't want people like you to learn the hard way like I did, just try to discern and just hopefully the Most High brings only good people to you, all right, to your path.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Thank you. And guys, I appreciate you guys coming through. We're gonna definitely get her channel shared with you guys. Um, if well, do you have like a public, like not maybe a personal email, but an email they can reach you on
Oh,
in
yeah,
case
sure.
they think
Let
they're
me,
related to you or they want to talk to you or something?
oh my gosh, I would love that.
Okay.
Let me see. Where can I drop it? Let
So
me put
so
in the
let's
chat.
share let or drop it on the live or drop it anywhere and I'll put it on the live chat, but also maybe screen share it
Okay.
and then people can take a screenshot or something.
Okay. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop
Um,
sharing.
okay. Let me do it again. All right. I think it took it away. Here we go.
Cousin. They say
That's my
thanks,
cousin.
cousin. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love them. I love my family. We're a big group, a big bunch. So I just put my email address right there, and then when they reach out to me, then I can,
Where is
kind of
it?
get closer. It should be.
Oh, okay, I see
Yeah.
it. Okay. If you can screen share it too,
Okay.
somehow.
I'm not screen sharing it.
Uh, no, that's just on the chat.
All right, let me
Uh,
see.
I shared your email on the live chat. Oh, hold up. Let me fix that because it put mail too. All right, guys, here's the correct chat, the email. That's her email. You want to contact her, be nice. Hey guys, don't waste her time, you know. I'm trusting you guys because, she was a guest of mine. Don't be trolling her and stuff, have some respect. All right. Only good people. All right. So let me see. Okay, let me just share this. Maybe I can. Okay. All right. Let me see. Can you guys see that? Can you see that?
It looks like I can't see it. I don't know what that is.
Like on my screen that I'm sharing
Yeah,
right
I don't see it on my screen unless.
now? Oh, I see. It's making it invisible. That's
Oh,
crazy.
okay. I just thought it was me.
I hear it is. You see it now, right? On the chat.
I do see it.
Okay, guys, if you didn't, if you can't type or copy paste right now, here's a screenshot you can take. That's her email. Look out for her channel. So that's where you can reach her if you're interested in knowing when she drops her channel. All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody for watching and for caring because it's special. It means a lot to me in my heart. So thank you.
All right. Definitely, definitely. We're gonna go out now. Again, thank you for coming. Appreciate the time. I'll give you guys your Monday back. All right. I know you're busy people. But thank you for coming through, guys. And yeah, show some love to Erica.